Hello, here we are, kicking off with episode 45. It's Nikki, by the way. I'm sure you know that because you've listened to the podcast, but hello, I hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, I'm speaking to Rita, who is a friend of mine in real life. I know those things definitely exist. She had an enormous career transition. She used to be a TV producer, then she retrained to be an acupuncturist, and she's just got loads of wisdom to share. She's lived a big life. She's always one of these people that I phone when I'm like, I just don't know, Rita, and she's great at giving me lots of love, but also a bit of a kick up the arse as well sometimes, which we all need in a tender, loving, careful way, etc. You know this. Next, I'm moving on to Yasmin Stevens, who is the founder of Natural Lifestyles. Whenever I need to be reminded of the things that I need to do every day, the basic things, and I'm not saying that her work is basic at all, but do you know what? Sometimes we need to go back to basics of, oh, I've got some frozen raspberries in the freezer. Maybe I should put them in a smoothie because that will give me a spring in my step this morning. Her content is always beautiful and just around the kitchen table. She's got loads of kids, and I think in a world where everything feels overcomplicated sometimes, this is just really soothing and nurturing. Then I move on to episode 47 with Kate Towers, who is a co-founder of Small and Wild. And Small and Wild make teas for children. So obviously they're not laced with loads of caffeine, they're fruit teas. And I hadn't had a product-based business for a while, and just hearing about how Kate works with her co-founder, how that works, how they got it to market, how they had success. It's a really juicy one, especially if you want to launch a product. Finally, Rowena, who is the founder of Agent Engagement. I'm not going to tell you too much about what that is. You can listen in the episode because it's all very secretive. But I tell you what, Rowena is one of these people that you meet in life and that you genuinely feel honoured to have her in your corner, in your network. I remember after I'd had Oscar, I attended a networking event in Old Street, and bizarrely, like, I felt like she was the right person that I needed to meet because it was my first time out and about, and she's just such a lovely person. And since meeting her maybe in about 2016, 2017, she's always been in my corner. She's always connected me to people and me, her also. And yeah, I'm just always really grateful for what this podcast has brought, the conversations that I got to have, that I get to share with you. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. If you love it too, please leave me a review. If you haven't done already, you are more than welcome to do so. And I thank you very much in advance. Also, if you want to find out more about how I can help you going into this autumn, yeah, I'm going to say it because you know that it will come around the corner. Do get in touch. hello@nikkiraby.com, or you can visit my shop, which is nikkiraby.com/shop, where I share all of the things that I can help you with and what I've got to offer. So do check it out. Also check out the freebies section of my website, nikkiraby.com/freebies. I've kept these links very, very simple, but everything is in my online home, nikkiraby.com. That's it. Enjoy the episode. Lots of love. Bye.
That's really important. And that's really important about relationships. You know, undoubtedly the work that I did before, and the fact that I was a manager, and the fact that I love people has helped me in this job.
Yes.
Whereas there were people who did the course who've never worked.
Yeah.
Who don't have the social skills. They may technically be brilliant, but if you haven't got the social skills, it's no good.
And sometimes you just need those skills that you can't put on your CV, as in, I can get bums on seats.
Yes.
Because, like, it doesn't come, like, the way that you can communicate about things, you make things really compelling. And I think sometimes we're all in a hurry to go, right, I've just got to send the email and get it out there. And it's like, actually, sometimes you just got to take a bit of time and work through it and figure out what the value is. And what
emails.
Exactly.
What makes you different? And
Yes.
I think that's the other thing is, for me, I wanted to stand out because I'm not a wallflower. You might have guessed. So I wanted to stand out, but in a really positive way. So I wanted my brand to stand out.
Yeah.
And people come to me because I am a personality. Not every acupuncturist is, and that's absolutely appropriate because not everyone needs it. Now, some people come to me, they just want a back rub.
Yeah.
I've got back pain, do it, don't need a conversation, out the door. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
That's what you need, that's what I offer.
Yes.
But often the role that I take on has to be that I can support everything,
right,
actually, so that you're supporting their mental health, their emotional health.
Yes.
Because in Chinese medicine, it's the same as physical health. It is on a par, and it tells us what they're going through, and it helps us to treat them.
Wow.
So that relationship that you have with them, the things they don't say, are just as important as the things that they do. So you sense things, and that's really important to have that view, to be interested in them more as a whole person,
yes,
which is what we're taught.
Yes,
that's a whole person, but not just medically. It's in every way.
Yes,
think of them that way, and then you build relationships. So I have patients that see me for 4 years since I started when I didn't know twat to now, and they come every month for maintenance.
Yeah,
and so it's about keeping them well, which is the Chinese system.
Totally,
you stay well.
So it's true, and it is. It's. I mean, the whole thing. Through this journey, what I've learned is keep it simple. And actually, funny enough, that's one of the things which my ex-partner used to say to me all the time, and I'd never get it. But now I actually get it fully, and I can apply it to natural lifestyles as well, and to your life, to anyone's life. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be, like, healthy doesn't have to mean you go out and buy, like, maca powder and spirulina and wheatgrass and mix it up and have to be making this protein thing and whatnot. It can just be a platter of fruit. It can just be like a couple of those fruits and vegetables in your fridge about to go off, chucked into the blender to make a smoothie. Or it's simple. It's simple. And especially when you have children, you don't need complication. You really don't.
No, and I love always seeing like your kids actually being in the kitchen with you and getting involved, and you know sometimes that's the last. Oscar's suddenly got a thing about washing up at the moment, and he wants to drag his stool up, and you know part of me is just going, oh my goodness, I just want to get the dishes done because we've got that thing we've got to get out the door and all the rest of it. Yeah. But I really try and stop and be in the moment, because ultimately as well, I don't want to raise a man who at age 23 won't be able to do some washing up or doesn't think that that's his place to muck in. Like, I'm from a big family as well, and it's one of those moments like, if you come for dinner, we're all clearing up, just to let you know. Matt figured that out very quickly. You've not come for a holiday, like we're all pitching in here.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That those moments as well, you like, it's easy to try and brush past them, but it's those tiny moments that children remember. Like, they really do, and we're so quick to try and rush through life and get it all done, and we want everything, and it's this whole slowing process, and it's not easy either. It takes patience, and it really does challenge you, and I think, especially as a parent, you have to kind of, you enter this battle with your children of like, no, I want it done this way, right? And they're like, no, but I want it done this way. And sometimes you actually have to step back and check, do I want it done because I want it done?
Yeah.
Or can I just let go? Or do I want it done because I want to be the bigger person? I want to, like, put down my authority. And sometimes you have to be like, actually, I'm just trying to impart authority, and that's not going to help the situation. So, yes, dishes might take an extra bit of time. My kitchen might be an extra mess because the children, I love having my children in the kitchen. The consequence is that it's a complete time. But that's my issues, and that's where I try to be as conscious as I can in the parenting approach.
And then sometimes, I think for me, I'm probably not the world's best admin person. So sometimes I'll be like, I'll just do this Instagram thing instead, or I'll just do this, contact this journalist or something. But actually what I, should really be doing is doing my, expenses and reconcile invoices, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, you're so there are some things that are still on my desktop, and I'm like, and I have this, it's almost a joke to myself, like, oh wow, you're still there, and you're still expecting somebody else is going to take responsibility for that. Isn't that interesting?
I know, totally.
How do you work sort of together? Do you have a lot of time face to face, or do you work online a lot? How do you make it all work?
We would normally all end up meeting up once a week, probably. We have our favourite HQ, which is Cafe Nero at London Bridge, because there's lots of nice big tables there.
So, doesn't it become like it used to be, like your choices of venues used to be like where the fit boys hung out, and now it's like, how comfortable are the seats? I'm not going there. No way, I'm not meeting there again.
Exactly, how comfortable are the seats and how good is the Wi-Fi?
Yes, and the wine, yeah.
And the wine, yeah. True. So we either, if we haven't got anything on, we'll meet there. But a lot of the time we'll have a supplier meeting, or we'll have a retailer meeting, or we'll be going to some sort of industry thing or networking as an occasional treat.
Yes.
So normally be together at least once a week, and then our WhatsApp is pretty heavily utilised as a business tool.
I'm terrible on WhatsApp because I sometimes just type as I have ideas and send go. So my mum will look at the notifications and she's like, you have 37 notifications, and she's thinking, oh my God, what's happened? Who's died? What's going on? And it's me just going, so I was thinking this, but now I'm thinking that, and it's just a bit of, I'm sure I drive her mad.
Yeah. Yes, I know, it's quite funny, isn't it? You're like, wow, 100 notifications within half an hour.
Right. What's gone on? In terms of a PR sort of using your experience, what's been really useful in getting your product out there? What do people really go for?
I think with our product we have the benefit of being quite unique. So
I don't know any other. When I first came across it, I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant!" Because actually, I don't know any that are like that. I've never come across it before.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a couple of others, but I think we it is it's still a novel concept. So that is really good, and I suppose from a PR background, that kind of is. I know that it's very crucial for media. So we have done that. We haven't, to be honest, given my PR background, we haven't done a ton of PR. We've had some really, really nice pieces, which has been great. And when we're looking to do more and kind of build it up, I think, from our perspective, we were keen to get quite a good spread of retailers before we did, really sort of really, really heavy PR campaign.
Yes.
So we're, so that people could actually see it on the shelves. I think it's just that, it's a novel nurse. I think the fact that there's the health angle as well. I mean, at the moment, children's health is under more and more sort of speculation from both a sort of physical and mental point of view. And I think, our product is offering something that is healthy. So I think that is of interest as well.
Sometimes actually sending that email can be really terrifying. What things have you sort of found have really worked for you in terms of building that network and getting your business and your profile known?
Yes, it's kind of funny because I feel the same as you. I felt really nervous about sending that first email when I was, trying to onboard jewelers when I didn't even have many clients yet. I had like one or two clients, and soon they would order and they wouldn't be a client anymore. And I actually just found that I was constantly testing, like you, at networking parties. People would say, what do you do? And I would just basically pretend that I did agent engagement full time. So I just was like, this is what I do. This is who I am. And the more I kind of said it and said it and said it, people were like, oh, wow. And they'd give me such good feedback. And I kind of got it into my head. No, I'm not a fraud. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I am. So, at the weekend when, you're at barbecue and there's lots of friends there or people that you don't know, I'd say, this is what I am. This is what I'm doing. It's just so powerful because it's so, I think, I don't know if it's a stereotypical kind of female thing, but it's kind of quite easy to think, oh no, I don't really do that yet. That's not really my thing. I'm still just trying, But actually, the more you kind of commit to yourself, no, this is my goal, this is what I am, and this is what I want to try to do, then I think you get so much more from it, It feels kind of nerve-wracking at first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think, especially if it's a job description that perhaps hadn't been written when you were at school, sometimes you can get that sort of, especially maybe older generations, they give you that sort of eye roll of like, really? You're making money from doing that? Because I think also that comes from, they don't understand it. So perhaps they're not going to ask the questions that are relevant in terms of going forward and getting to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that if I'm talking to someone who really hasn't engaged in that service that you're offering, whether it's coaching, whether it's kind of agent engagement or any service you're offering, you can be really put off by people who are like, why would that person need you? Why, And actually, it's just so interesting because it really takes you back. You're like, but there's this whole need for the help or kind of what we're doing, and it's so kind of it's so energizing.